Hey, this is Mythical Beasts, recording on May 25th, and today I have the potato with the most eyes on him, Brotatoe.
Good to be here.
And it's Brotatoe, also known as Jay, a live streamer on Twitch.tv, a broadcasting service where anybody, anywhere can broadcast themselves playing a video game, and there's a chat room, and everybody can talk to each other, talk to the streamer, and just have a good time. So, Jay, I guess my first question would be, how did you find Twitch?
Um, I found Twitch back when it was called Justin TV, and that was about 5 years ago. Justin TV was kind of a social platform started by a guy named Justin Kahn, where he just kind of strapped a GoPro to his head and recorded his life with friends. And as more people grew to the site, I eventually found it a couple years later. I was playing Halo Reach. I was trying to go a little competitive with my buddy Wes, and he just kind of said like, "Hey, if you're going to be doing this, you got to watch Ninja. Like, you have to watch him, and you have to check out Justin TV." So I went there and I checked out his gameplay, and this guy Ninja was incredible at the game, absolutely incredible. But at the same time, like, he was offering really funny commentary, doing silly voices and just impersonations, and at that time, and ever since then, I've been just doing kind of the same. I've always done that. My family's always loved it when I do that. So I immediately felt like I fit in, and from there, I mean, a year later, it became Twitch and became the gaming site that it is, and started to grow. But from that moment, just being told by word of mouth, like, "Hey, go to this site," um, I just kind of found a place to watch video games all the time.
All right, cool. Yeah, I found it shortly after the change from Justin TV to Twitch, and like, all those years ago, it just kind of it's grown ever so
Yeah, it's
gradually.
exploded.
Oh yeah, well yeah, it did explode. Not really gradual at all.
Well, no, it was. I guess I would say it was gradual at first, but like definitely in the last 2 years, oh man,
Oh
it
yeah,
blew up. It blew up. Ever since the site owned TV. If you do you remember owned?
yeah,
Yeah, because they were doing a lot of League of Legends content over there, and
right.
esports, the professional video game competitions and all that. And then they had, I guess, a financial crisis, and they shut down. And then all of those people and all of those tournaments just moved right over to Twitch. And from there, it just, I mean, it brought about like a completely different time for Twitch, and that's when they really exploded. But up until that point, you're absolutely right. It was totally gradual, kind of
Mm,
word of mouth at that point.
yeah, definitely. So, back in the day when you were first starting out and you were first becoming a streamer, a broadcaster, what like when was that? When was the time that you finally decided to start recording yourself and getting yourself out there?
My very first cast was on August 27th of, I want to say, 2011. Um, so I've been doing this coming close to 4 years. I was watching Twitch or JTV back then after I found Ninja for about 8 to 9 months, and if my memory fails me, probably a year. And I had actually started watching another streamer called Towley, and he played a lot of World of Warcraft, and I was totally into WoW at that time. So I was like, hell yeah, I got to do this. I got to do this. And I finally, I waited for my mom to leave for work, and I just kind of bit the bullet. I threw on my my mom's crappy Dell Inspiron 3000 computer in her bedroom with her Microsoft Life Cam, and I just loaded up XSplit, I think it was. Actually, it was Flash Media Live Encoder, which is a extremely outdated program now,
Yeah, I've never even
and
used it. So.
it was really convoluted. I had no idea what I was doing. It was absolutely terrible, but it still kind of worked. And I had a couple thousand followers on Tumblr at that point, so I kind of posted on there in the World of Warcraft section, like, "Hey, I'm live," and had a couple people come by, and my first viewer, who had come in and just said like, "Hey, basically, you're playing this game wrong. This is what you need to do." He stops by every now and then, so that's a really cool thing. But it was about 3.5-ish years ago, in 2011 in August. Last August, I celebrated 3 years on Twitch, which was very, just a really huge experience for me. It took me quite a while to finally bite the bullet because you got to get up in front of an audience pretty much, and you really have to
Yeah,
just kind of bury yourself to everybody that comes in and hope that they like you. And that was terrifying for me.
Yeah, it's I guess you could kind of compare it to like an amateur stand-up artist.
Yeah, no,
It like
that's yeah.
in a way a little bit
Yeah, no, that's a really good really good way to compare it. Yeah. And
like at like improv night or something,
yep,
amateur hour.
yep. Or just being really drunk and getting up on karaoke.
Yeah,
Kind of
that
the
too.
same, kind of the same. But yeah, it's a really good comparison. Just you kind of get up there and just do your best and hope that everyone can accept it, or they hate it, or they don't like it. That's always a really huge thing behind the cast, behind the scenes that's going on, is the hoping that people are enjoying what they're seeing.
Yeah, and so back in the day, you said you were really big on World of Warcraft,
Yep.
and that was the first game that you streamed, correct?
Yes, that was the very first game.
All right.
That was I was actually writing a thing called Firelands, doing like just trash mobs in the game, which were just kind of lowly NPCs and farming for
Right.
gear and trying to better my character. And then I just came in, and everyone was like, "Hey, you're absolutely doing this wrong, and you need to do it better because I need you to do it better." I was like, that's okay. I'm 17. I'm impressionable. Let's do this."
And you always want to keep your audience, there.
Hmm.
Like you don't want to disappoint.
Hmm.
So, what games do you usually play now?
Well, in the past month, I've switched over to Destiny as my main game, but I've gone into variety over the past 2 years. Kind of transitioned off to World of Warcraft into a game called DayZ, and then eventually realized I didn't like playing just one game all the time, and went into true variety, a new game every week, and that doesn't really allow me to really focus on games as much. So I went back to Destiny, and now I'm doing a new game every Tuesday. And if I beat that game before the next Tuesday, I play a little bit of Destiny and a game called Darkest Dungeon. So
Oh yeah.
I've completely strayed from World of Warcraft. I thankfully I quit it 2 years ago and just stopped caring about it. But now it's just it equals out to about 4 games a month, and I'm kind of content with that. It's not as much as like 10 games a month, which is what I was doing
Right.
for a while there, and that's very exhausting, very taxing. But
Yeah, I can
definitely
see.
nowhere near World of Warcraft anymore. So it's I completely did a complete 180.
Yeah. So, when you're not live, when you're away
Hmm.
from the stream, what are you usually doing? What do you do? Just hanging out.
Um, I don't usually have too much time to hang out because unfortunately and fortunately, casting as a career on Twitch is kind of like running your own business, and I always like to think that most of the work that's done towards the broadcast and towards bettering the show is actually done offline. So kind of getting online is just really me putting on a show and still having fun, and I can definitely have fun with that. But offline is more of like a crunch time kind of thing. Like there are so many assets on my channel in terms of like art and music, and I'm constantly trying to improve them, trying to get together with artists and my engineer and my manager to always improve it and always trying to bend the curve a little bit more, get a little further in, I guess, yeah, a little further ahead in the curve, and hope that I can, either start a trend, set a trend, or jump on a current trend. Just constantly create new and exciting content. So a good 5 hours, maybe 4 to 5 hours of my day after the cast is offline is dedicated to doing that, whether it be networking with other casters or talking with artists and my manager, and just really trying to make everything as best as possible. Other than that, I do a lot of reading, and I take a lot of time to myself, just sitting at the beach nearby, or just kind of sitting there and listening to music because there's so much noise in my life, and I'm constantly talking, and I can hear my voice all the time, and it's kind of weird when your voice is almost a tool rather than just like you talking in casual conversation. So
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time to myself, just kind of relaxing and thinking. Unfortunately, most of the time it's thinking about what I can do to improve the broadcast and improve the show. So I don't really get a lot of time away from work, but it's good. It's fun.
Yeah. Like you're improving yourself as you're
Oh
like
yeah,
away, I guess.
absolutely, yeah, because you are 50, if not, 70, 80% of your broadcast, right? A lot of people
Mm.
don't usually tune in on Twitch to see the video games unless it's a very high profile game or like a tournament or you're playing it professionally. This is very much a game of personalities, and it's like coming in and watching a talk show. It's all about your inflection and your diction and how you speak, what you're saying, how you're moving as you're saying it, and just your thoughts as they become words. So I'm always trying to improve myself and my cast, and I think if I improve myself as a person, my cast will directly improve from there and be improved. So if I'm more positive, then everybody around me is going to be a little more positive as well, as opposed to me being angry and sad. And so it's always a lot of self-reflection and just try my hardest to really take myself and crank it up to 11 and hope that's good enough for everyone around me.
And it really does show. Like I can tell that like casting is what you want to do, and like you're not there for the people. You're also there for yourself. Hey, but not in a bad way.
No, no, absolutely. It's no, it's very true. I'm glad that it shows. I'm really glad that it shows because almost every waking moment is spent thinking about the show, which is probably unhealthy in a small form, but it works for me. I'm a workaholic, and anything to improve anything. The people around me are the viewers and the fans and just fellow peers or colleagues or coworkers or friends. They're always affected in some way by what happens on the show as well, whether it be negatively or positively. It's always there to help someone, which is why I try my hardest to never miss a day, because I always get messages like like, hey, you've really helped me. I'm really depressed, or I just lost somebody, or my girlfriend just left me, or my wife just left me, or something. And it's somebody today, they had said that their wife was having an affair, and they were really happy that my show is live. And every time I go to take a day off, I always think of people like that, and I feel almost obligated to them and myself to tune in. And that's something that just keeps me going no matter what. Absolutely, no matter what.
Yeah, it's helping the community. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's the only way to put it, really.
yeah. Eventually, it becomes a family, and
Oh yeah.
everyone just comes together.
Mm.
Very large dysfunctional family.
Well, sometimes it's the best kind of family to have.
Yeah, yeah.
So, transitioning into music more, um, during your live streams, what music is usually playing in the background, and is that different from the music that you listen to like when you're not live?
Yeah, absolutely. In some ways, no, but most of the time, yeah. I usually play a lot of house and electronic and new house with very strong like female vocals on the cast, because I think everybody can appreciate those kinds of music, and I think everyone, even if they're not a fan of it, it can still just be good background noise. It's not really anything there to really hate about that kind of music. Um, Lately, I've been playing, a little bit of trap music and rap music, but that's usually what I listen to on my off time. Is sometimes like very aggressive rap music, or very just, I guess, descriptive music. Things that you normally wouldn't want other people to hear. Sorry if you can hear my cat purring. He's going crazy right now.
Oh, it's all good.
I just gave him a bunch of catnip and he's going crazy. But songs that kind of guilty pleasures. But other days, I'm a huge fan of Death Cab for Cutie. I talk about it all the time on my show. They're the only band I've ever seen live, and it was a fantastic experience. So sometimes I'm into really sappy and sad love music, and then other times I just like to blast rap music as loud as I can. But I think those are songs and types of music I better left off the broadcast, because some people might not be able to appreciate it, and they're very vocal with me when they don't appreciate it. So. I like to try and please everyone with the background music.
Well, I mean, it works. I've rarely ever seen anybody complain in regards to that.
One of my mods likes to give me crap all the time because she doesn't like Death Cab for Cutie. So sometimes I'll play it on the cast just to annoy her, just to spite her. But there are definitely people sometimes when you play a song, they're like, what is this? And then you're sitting there thinking like, oh man, that's if they don't like it, then somebody else probably doesn't like it. Let me change the song really quick. But
Yeah.
if it's a song that I wouldn't want friends or peers to know that I'm listening to, I probably don't play it on the cast.
Yeah, and that's the way to have it, I guess.
Yeah, keep it a little more little professional.
Yeah, exactly. So, keeping with that topic a little bit, um, like, do you have any soundtrack from any video game that is like you can always listen to it and it's like your favorite, really?
Yeah, I have Super Brothers Sword and Sorcery. There, it's an incredible indie game I played a couple of years ago on my show, which is it's a very musically inclined and musically driven game where you're just some 8-bit guy that's been pulled down to earth and you're here to save sprites or the world or something. The story never rang that loud for me, but the music, like in some points, you have to play a little spot the difference mini game and pull sprites out of the forest in the backdrop, and as you click on them, they make very harmonious pining noises or shrieks or anything, and it works into the music that's already playing in the ambience. So the music in that game is just absolutely beautiful, and it's just so grand, and it gives you this feeling and sense of exploration, which is such a good feeling. Really sets the atmosphere. And then another one, I guess that would be tied for me, would be Halo ODST. So ODST, just incredible game. Like Bungie has always done amazing with their soundtracks and the other Halo games, but the ODST soundtrack is so symphonic. It's just got very loud and crazy and invigorating highs, and then very sad and solemn lows, and it really sets the atmosphere. Because in the game, you're walking around a dead city, and you're 2 hours after like a major attack on Earth happened, and you're just kind of trying to piece together the stories and find survivors. So it really sets the pace and reminds you all the time that you are alone and there's nobody around you. And that's just amazing to me. I always throw it on with Rainy Mood, where
Oh yeah.
it just the rain coming down with that soundtrack is absolutely awesome.
Mm. It gives you that sort of it puts you right in the mood
Oh yeah,
whenever.
just whether it be to read or to write, whatever it needs to be.
Mm. So, branching off of that, do you play any instruments? Like,
No, no. I wish I did. I wanted to play guitar in high school, and I wanted to play piano. But unfortunately, I'm the kind of person that sometimes picks things up and puts them right back down.
yeah, I'm
And
the same way a lot of the time.
yeah, that was me definitely with guitar. I learned a couple songs. Like everybody's got to learn "Smoke on the Water." So
Wonderwall.
and wonderful. I really wanted to be that guy at parties that sat there drunk and played guitar. Like I wanted to be that guy, and then I was like, yeah, but it's really hard, so I should probably not do that. I played the recorder in grade 7, but that was mandatory, and I think I only ever learned one song. So
Well, like hot cross buns.
I don't even remember the name of the song. It was just it was probably like a nursery rhyme or something. That was like the Smoke on the Water of recorders. That was that right there. That was what you had to learn. But
Yeah,
that was the only musical instrument I ever played. I'd love to learn one day. Maybe one day I'll actually sit down and do it, but that's probably always going to be a maybe for me, realistically.
yeah. Like hot cross buns is known as like the easiest song to learn on any instrument because it's only 3 notes. So
Oh man, that's fantastic. I'll have to make a drum kit out of 2 bowls and 2 forks and learn it there.
it would work. Um, so like if you could even imagine, what do you think you would be doing right now had you not started streaming? Had you not started broadcasting? What job do you think you would have? Is what I'm asking.
Um, Hopefully not still working in retail, as much as I loved it. My mother's a police officer, so I always told myself like if anything never panned out, I would love to just go into that and settle with that, because I always wanted to kind of like stray away from what everyone else was doing. So that would be a last resort. But I always, as a kid, I wanted to start up a business and multiple businesses. And I even, as a kid, I had a little notebook that I had like planned for like a video game company. I had the intro all drawn out and the animations for it planned and the name of the company and my first game and everything. And I always really wanted to just own a business. And I guess here I am now, kind of owning my own business and starting a corporation next year. So that's interesting. But that was the plan. If not a police officer or a businessman of some form, a chef, because I really love cooking. It's always a good guilty pleasure to cook for myself, even though I hate cooking for myself. But I love just coming up with the most wild combinations of food that I can. So probably a police officer, or coming out of college, going into one of those professions.
Yeah, like as any like normal person would do, like straight out of college, right into the workforce, is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, I would probably. I guess a good word to describe it would be normal. I guess
Yeah, I mean,
playing video games on Twitch isn't really a normal profession.
yeah, not like
Not
to the
yet.
eyes of most of the world.
Yeah, yeah, not yet for sure.
Mhm. So, hey, you said that you love cooking. Do you also like cook for your cats a little bit? Because like I know some people do that.
No, no, I've never done that actually. Flynn used to have a very specific wet food that he would have to be on because he had crystals.
Oh yeah.
So I had to keep him on that for a very long time. But since I got a second cat, that food bill was costing me about $100 a month for
Oh
them.
wow.
So yeah, they were eating better than I was, and I had to cut down on that a little bit. So I usually just give them a can of small wet food in the morning, and I wish I could cook for them. I might actually have to figure out some recipes for that. 'Cause now you got that in my head. I'm gonna make fish for them or something. I didn't know
Like
people did that.
yeah, I just heard of it like watching the food channel or whatever.
Wow.
Like oh, I also make this for my pets. Like
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome.
yeah,
Well, they've got catnip right now, so they can be happy with that.
just about anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like fish or chicken or beef or something like that, and they'll eat it
Yeah.
up.
Wow. Wow. I'm gonna have to definitely grab some salmon or something and throw it their way. I give them tuna all the time. When my second cat Bosco moved in, Flynn absolutely hated them, and they would fight. And I actually got them to come together and got them to like each other with a can of tuna. So,
Oh wow.
so tuna's their thing now. I give them a couple cans a week, like most cat owners do.
Yeah. So do you have any closing remarks, or do you want to plug or promote anything that's currently going on?
Yeah, man, Twitch TV always. I mean, I don't know exactly who's going to be listening to this. If it's multiple people or one person, but I'd always say if anyone's never heard of Twitch, to come and watch Twitch, even if it's not me. Um, it's just such an incredible website, and if you find the right place on it, it's like finding a small family.
Mm.
Depending on who you're watching, and I mean, when I tuned into JTV about 5.5 years ago, I did not expect to be this deep into it now, but it's pretty much it's replaced TV for me. So
Yeah.
and thank you once again for having me on this. This is so cool. It's actually uh, the the first kind of stream related interview I've ever done. So
Oh,
I'm
my
I'm so
pleasure.
happy to do it.
And thank you for joining me. Like I don't know, it's kind of surreal, I guess you would say.
It's so
To
real it becomes surreal, right?
yeah. Um, jeez.
I had to throw it in there, man.
I know.
Couldn't let that joke out. That was a good joke. It had to be.